Andor series, episodes 1 to 3. What did I think? I know I said in the original trailer reaction I had no interest in watching it. And I don't, and someone had said at work to me, "Oh, I think you might like this." Uh, yeah. No, my initial take, dull and boring, was correct. It was dull and boring. And I don't really want to talk about that aspect of it too much. Or I want to mention some movie making elements that popped into my mind while I was watching it, more so. First is the secret contact's cane. When he arrives, he's carrying a cane. Up until that point, you don't really see anybody carrying a cane, right? So when you see him with a cane, it really stands out as an obvious thing. Now, when he gets off the transport, now I mentioned this about the Samaritan, was Sylvester Stallone's puffy jacket. If he was the only one wearing big puffy jacket, it looks crazy. But if everyone's got puffy type jackets on, then it fits in. Same with the cane. If he was still the only one with the cane, he stands out. So when he first arrives on Andor's planet, pay really close attention to the crowd. You'll see multiple other people with canes. That way, him having a cane doesn't look so odd. Now, when he meets Andor, he doesn't have the cane, and I believe this was a failing from the script supervisor. The script supervisor's job is to keep track of the props. He's had a prop, which is a cane, in these scenes. Then they've done this scene here in the building, and there's no cane. And they had to go, well, what happened to the cane? That's a big fail. So my thinking is they then had to shoot the separate scene where he specifically holds the cane up and we see it fold away into nothing. That's why they focus specifically on that one thing to tell us, oh, this is where the cane has gone. Because if it could fold up, hey, why doesn't he just walk into the room? And while he's, you see what I'm saying? Okay. Now, that being the case, the room that they're in, full of dangling motors and things, it reminded me of the movie Galaxy Quest with the big chompy things room. Why is it there? Why did they have to have a meeting in such a crazy location like that with big, bad, dangling motors? It was such a dangerous place to be, and the way the motors were all intertwined with each other and chains and cables and whatever. Walking away from your most precious, the box thing, the MacGuffin, if you will, at that point. Walking away from that. It just reminded me of Rogue One. The stupidness to leave the holographic disc over there and just go, oh, I've got, oh, what about the disc? Oh, it's back. Oh, it was too late. Like, oh. It's like, dude, this box is worth so much to you, and yet you're happy to just leave it 100 miles away from you in this room. Now, obviously, I'm being hyperbolic when I say 100 miles away from you in a room, but it's such a precious thing. You just seem to lose any sort of sense of how precious it is to you to keep it with you. You want to keep it over there. Like, it didn't make any sense. And then there's like, oh, we've got to try and get it. Oh, well, we can't. We've got falling motors. Dang, it didn't make any sense to me. So kind of a bit failure there. Oh, yeah. What was the other one? The dangling, like the hitting of the thing. And they're like, wait, make them stop, make them stop. And the woman says, yeah, don't worry about while it's going. It's got to, when the sound stops, you've got to be worried about. And I'm thinking, great, we're going to see something. Finally, we're going to see something. It's been dull and boring. And when all that dangling, jamming, bashing noise stopped, and I'm waiting, what's going to happen? Yeah, nothing happened. So that was a little bit disappointing as well. Okay, so now we come to the flashback scene of Cassian on his home planet as a kid. Now, there was something I noticed is there was no adults in this tribe. I think the director got something very seriously wrong here. Primitive does not mean feeble-minded or mentally retarded. And yet that's what I felt from the tribe. It's not that they were primitive, they lacked modern technologies. It was like they were all mentally retarded in some way. just the way they're behaving and carrying on, it just, I cannot explain it, but my feeling was they were all mentally retarded. It didn't have anything to do with being primitive. The director got that wrong. Now, when they went to the fallen ship, the lead hunter poked the various dead people. I guess just tapping one with a stick, she can tell if they're dead. She's not very good at that because one of them got up. And of course, now we have another problem. Grab a deck chair, grab a stool, or sit cross-legged in the backyard, or just lie on your grass with your eyes closed and listen. You can hear everything. You can hear so much stuff. You don't even know how much stuff you can hear until you actually just stop and listen. And yet here we are in the bush where this thing has crashed. We, the audience, can hear the bloke getting up. No, not her. She's gone stone deaf. She can't hear a thing. And what's worse is that this guy is surrounded. He's got the tribesmen on both sides of this little ravine being absolutely silent. They're not warning her, hey, this guy's got up. They're not doing anything like that. They just sit there looking at him, doing nothing. Like I said, mentally retarded. Then when he does something, then they all yell and scream like banshees. And my immediate thought was, if you were going to yell and scream, why didn't you yell and scream before he killed your precious leader? Like, it's just so stupid. And then you're hiding out for years. You've grown up your whole life hiding out. You don't tell people, anybody, who you are. You've got a fake identity. I'm from so-and-so planet and whatever. Everybody knows you, that's how you are. But then you suddenly start telling people, yeah, but I'm really from there. Why? What purpose would be to say that? What purpose would there be for Andor to tell his girlfriend? Or what? Like, I don't even know what that relationship is with those three. And then the guy that betrays him just runs into gun. Like, you know what? Just so much stupid. Just too much stupid for stuff to happen. And the rest was just super dull and boring. So, yeah, my take on episodes 1 to 3 is super dull and boring. Too much stupid things. Too many massive plot holes and things that didn't make any sense whatsoever. Things that would not happen in reality if you were a person in that situation. And that's what acting is. Acting is behaving realistically in a situation that's not real. Realistically, if there's a bunch of guys yelling and screaming at you, pointing guns at you, and making all sorts of very menacing threats, do you run at them while you're unarmed? In a realistic situation, no, you don't. Realistically, you'll get the hell out of Dodge. That's what you do. But no. Anyway. That's it for this review. There won't be any further reviews on the Andor series going forward, episodes 4 to 12, because I won't be watching them because episodes 1 to 3 was dull and boring and just too full of stupid.